So you've been coaching leadership for a while, coaching fathers for a while, providing a platform for fathers for a while. What is the most important pillar of being a father? Is it leading by example? And if that is the answer, what's number two?
Oh man, that's a good question. The most important pillar for being a father. I think the biggest thing. So yes, I have to say the biggest thing you can do is leading by example, but it's leading yourself, not just leading everybody else. So my decisions, I often think of my children, but again, it's me leading myself, because your focus has to be on you getting better and you improving, you staying in the hunt. And so constantly, when you are constantly working on yourself and you know you have problems, but you don't care and you just keep on working through those, some things you get better, some things you don't, you focus less on everybody else's issues. It's the person who doesn't work on themselves, who feels bad about their own self-image, their self-worth is low, who portrays that onto their kids, onto their spouse, everywhere. And so if my self-image is low, then all of a sudden my son needs to be the best wrestler. He's a wrestler. And so he needs a lacrosse player. He needs to be the best lacrosse player. He actually tried out for a team last week, and he doesn't know this yet, but he didn't make it. And it is what it is. He'll try out for another one this week. He's a small kid. It was a really good team. We thought we'd give it a shot. Didn't happen. It's cool. I was a soccer guy. There was times I didn't make a really good team. I could let that moment affect my self-image and just be like, oh, this is terrible. But the reality is, who cares? It's just lacrosse. So yes, number one is leading by example and focusing on your personal development. And the second one for me is controlling your ego. That's one of the biggest things you can do. So many decisions are ego-driven. Even leaders have egos. And ego is not bad or good. It just is. It's a thing we have. Everybody has it. It's not going away. But start to identify, when is your ego making the decisions, and when are you making decisions for the betterment of for the merit of the decision, not based on your feelings and how your ego may feel better or worse from it. So I could say, you see this a lot in sports. I could say, Andrew, I want you to be the best lacrosse player ever, or the best wrestler ever. Why do I want him to be the best wrestler? Is it for him or for me? The clue is, if he doesn't want to be the best wrestler in the Midwest, it's probably for me. And I say wrestling because it's one of those environments I see the most guilty fathers. Kids are on the mat. They don't really want to be there, but dad says our family wrestles. So get your butt on the mat and let's go. I ask my son before every season, are you sure you want to play this? He says yes or no. And we go for it. He played football last fall. He went through the season. We have a thing that we don't quit in our family. So he finished the season. I could tell he didn't love it. He picked it. I didn't push him into it. Afterwards, the season's coming back up. Hey, do you want to play again? Dad, not really. Perfect. Let's go do something else. It doesn't matter. It's just football. But the reality is, me making those choices for him are for my ego and my own personal feeling better about myself because my son made a play, versus just allowing him to develop into the young man that he's supposed to be and called to be. Because the reality is, if we try to develop the path for our children that they should be moving into, then they are probably missing out on their true path. Therefore, they're always going to be second best. Not second best. I should say their path for them will always be second best. So it's not me. I'm not trying to put the path, form my child to a path that I see. I'm trying to help him find the path for him. It's not about me. It's not me saying engineering is ideal, go for engineering. It's, hey, what is your purpose in life? And let's make sure you can get there as efficiently as possible as you need.
Wow. Well put. I think a ton of good anecdotes in there. The controlling your ego piece of that is obviously the platform there, the structure there. And I want to say, when I first realized what was causing me the most angst internally was me fretting over times I said something embarrassing or did something embarrassing prior, right? But once I saw that's what was causing, I leveled up, as you say. I totally leveled up. I can see the difference. You know what I mean? So I hope everyone can see that about themselves and make sure that they're assessing themselves on a daily basis. But the other thing that you talked about, you know, you don't make your son play a sport or do something that they may or may not want to do, but you do have a standard with it, which means I can't quit within a season, right? That's such a great boundary, because no one, you know, obviously you don't want to push your kid into anything, right? But you letting them quit on day 4 out of a 100-day season means they could have changed their mind in any one of those other 96 days, right? So you giving it, hey, you have to try it for this long if it's something that you want to try, right? And that is such a wonderful message, because, you know, both are wrong. Pushing your child into some sport or extracurricular that they don't want to do is wrong, but also letting them quit after a short period of time is just as wrong, in my opinion. So great job there. I love that, man.
Appreciate that. Yeah, I think we're always sort of walking that boundary of, am I pushing them in the right amount to help them keep growing, and versus pushing them to be great at something so I feel better as a person. And you're always kind of going back and forth. And I challenge myself on those things too. My kids both play sports. My daughter plays a lot of them. She's 9. She's the kid who wants to play everything. But every now and then she kind of mails in the day, and you're just like, oh, what happened? And it can be frustrating as a parent, because you want your child to always work hard. But I coach this stuff, and I even have to catch myself sometimes, like, hey, just leave it alone. If I've had bad days as an adult, lazy days as an adult, how am I going to expect my 9-year-old to never have a bad day, to never have a lazy day within her sports and so forth? And she goes a lot. So it's just perspective.
I hear you, John. Man, I really appreciate you being on the Dad Hat today. Will you let everybody know where they can reach you?
Absolutely. So I'm on Instagram the handle is John LeBrun. That's LEBRUN, and then the number 3. Same with Twitter. Same with the new Instagram app, Threads. What else? Or you can find me on my community. intentionaldad.community is the website. That's a place where dads can collaborate, and I have video on demand courses, resources, all kinds of things. That's a subscription, but it's super cheap. It's not the Blueprint, but it has a lot of the Blueprint content in there. It's a brand new community. I just launched on Circle, intentionaldad.community, and it's a real easy intro to some of the information.